I'm going to start out with a poem by Heidi Marie Devine. I am the proud daughter of a police officer indeed, a hero to me who helps all in need. He is a man with a heart of gold. I'll always love you, I was always told. I knew as a child of an officer dear, he may not come home, was always my fear. When I heard the siren sound, I knew he was out in danger bound. I always would pray to the angels above, please bless and protect my dad with love. Now that I am older, I appreciate him more, knowing of all the danger in store. He risks his life day in and day out. This is why I stand and shout. I am the proud daughter of an officer indeed. Please always remember those heroes we need. I chose this verse because I thought it was really important and sums up just about my childhood and how I grew up knowing my dad was always in danger. My dad served for 28 years as a West Covina police officer. He moved up and retired after 28 years as a lieutenant recently. So this tribute is for him. Growing up with a parent in law enforcement is definitely not easy and not something many people can handle. I spent many holidays with just my mom and my brother, and a lot of family functions and going to back to school night. My dad wasn't able to be at a lot of things, but I learned to deal with it, and I think it made me a better and a stronger person because of it. My dad is my number one inspiration. He not only had me and my brother and my mom at home, but he also ran a side business. We had a photo booth for the last 7 years. So not only did he work a full time job, but he also managed the photo booth. On top of that, he even went back to school while me and my brother were younger. He went through and got his bachelor's degree from University of Laverne. Um, and then he went on to get his master's degree from Cal State Long Beach. So knowing that having two kids at home, working a full-time job, and the fact that my dad was still able to run a business and get his master's degree is something that is extremely inspiring and what's inspired me to never give up in school. He knew and I knew growing up that school was not something that came easy for me. I really had to sit and I really had to study in order to do well in school, where my brother was just really smart. My brother could you could write down a problem for him and he could solve it in 10 seconds, where I struggled a little bit more. So it was inspiring that my dad never let me give up. He always told me, I don't care if it takes you 10 years to get your degree, as long as you get it in the end, and as long as it's something that you want to get in the end. So here I am, almost graduated finally. I graduated in March, I'm done in March, but I'll graduate in May. But it's something that was always near and dear to my heart, that even my dad was able to do so many things and be so inspiring to not me, but to many others. My dad is someone who's always a giver. He would drop anything and everything just to help someone. He would give you the shirt off his back, and that is someone that I have always aspired to be. And I think I'm doing pretty well, but I guess he can be the judge. Growing up, I didn't always have the greatest relationship with my dad because I was a stubborn teenage girl. I did miss him on a lot of holidays. It was hard some Christmas mornings waking up knowing that it was just going to be me and my mom and my brother. And there were a lot of holidays that we spent without him, but knowing how much of an impact that he had in the community was something that really inspired me and made me really thankful that God picked me to be his daughter. Recently, we had his end of watch, essentially, which is something that's done at the station, and they pretty much do their roll call of all the officers, and they kind of switch it up when someone's retiring. So each person would go on the line and say who it was, basically checking in, and then they would say something about my dad. And it was impossible to hold back the tears of just all the amazing things that were said about my dad and all the amazing stories that I was able to hear. And just to know that my dad had such a huge impact, not only on the people that he worked with, but also in the community. We had a lot of people at his retirement party that were people that he knew from work and throughout his career, and it was crazy to see. I mean, 300 people showed up to come and celebrate my dad's 28 years of service, and to me that's just amazing not only that he knows 300 people, that 300 people cared enough to come and to wish him, the best on his next adventure now that he is retired. So that's why I decided to do this tribute for him, was because it really is inspiring to see how much one person can change someone's life. And I think that my dad truly did. I mean, there are so many things out in the community. And especially in law enforcement nowadays, it is not always something that is so talked about that people are good. It's normally that the stories in the media are, things that are happening that aren't good. And so knowing that my dad was able to help out a lot of people and that he was able to change a lot of lives was something that really just tugged on my heartstrings a little bit more, knowing that that's the person that I've gotten to grow up with. That's the person that helped raise me and will hopefully continue to make a lot of changes and continue to change the world. So cheers to you, Dad. Happy 28 years.